Red day for the stocks of artificial intelligence, Nvidia, semiconductors. Everyone is panicking and they're asking, yes, is this caused by the Chinese company called DeepSeek? Just look how much it crashed Nvidia, 17% in one day. What about other companies? Advanced Micro Devices, 7%. And Microsoft, not so much, 3% going down. What about TSMC? Well, let's check it out. Oh, very good. That's in the last 5 days. Very good. So, why everyone is panicking with DeepSeek? Well, in today's video, I'm gonna focus and explain you why it is possible that they do what they do. Yes, because a lot of people are saying, the Chinese are just lying. Well, the good thing about doing a model that is open source and releasing the paper that describes all the technologies that you use is that very smart people in artificial intelligence can verify that. That's the reality. So a lot of people that just say, no, it's just the CCP and they're gonna have your data and everything. Well, dudes, everyone that knows about artificial intelligence and large language models can just replicate things. It is very simple. And let's just go to Brian. Brian, it's an amazing expert. And now each time he's just tweeting how he's taking full advantage of DeepSeek. Why? Because it's open source. What does it mean? That you don't depend on the company to do your stuff. For example, he said that instead of paying $200 to OpenAI, you can build your own operator. He said that you can even have DeepSeek installed in a small device such as a Raspberry Pi. So this is the key thing. So as an investor, first, don't panic. That's stupid. I have to tell you, people that are just panicking, they're not good investors. We have to recognize, and I believe you're a great investor, so you will not have any problem. So if you search for DeepSeek on Twitter, everyone is going like crazy. What do we do? What do we know? Oh, it collects everything about you. Oh, DeepSeek is gonna destroy companies. And it's like, dudes, I like Europeans watching DeepSeek overtake ChatGPT and App Store. But it's the cool thing that after they launch DeepSeek R1, which is an incredible model, I have just proved people how to use it. That's the reason I did a video on how to use DeepSeek. Is that they just launched something called Janus Pro 7 billion. And what is that? Well, it's a new model that allows you to make images better. Just check the quality of the image. What is this gonna happen for the users? It's gonna be the best for users because users will have access to the best artificial intelligence at a lower cost. And I'm using LLMs and I'm testing all the time to see what is cheaper. And this is the best for users. What some people don't like is this is not an American company. Man, we have a new world. And Kai-Fu Lee, he rightly said, I really love Kai-Fu Lee, man. Kai-Fu Lee, he had an amazing book called AI Superpowers, totally recommended. And it was published, in 2018, okay? So since 2018, he has been saying, there are only two superpowers in artificial intelligence, the US and China, okay? And it's real. Why? Because they have been developing amazing technology. So everyone that panics and then understand that this is great for users and for the world is like just, it doesn't understand. Now, one cool thing about this is that you can verify what amazing people are thinking about DeepSeek, such as Andrew Karpathy. Karpathy, remember, he was part of the OpenAI team. And in December of 2024, when he got the first information about DeepSeek, he tweeted this. So, come on, dude. If you don't want to believe me, it's okay. Just believe Andrew Karpathy, one of the brilliant minds at Tesla and OpenAI. Imagine, like, the top guys, the guys that design these things. So let's just go and analyze. And this was when DeepSeek released their DeepSeek model version 3. Okay. Now he says, DeepSeek, Chinese AI, making it look easy today with an open weights release of a frontier grade LLM trained on a joke of budget. Okay, very important. Do you think that Andrew Karpathy would just believe anything that people tell him about large language models? Or do you think he will literally read the paper 100 times, verify, use its own AIs that he has built by himself to verify all the data, correct? Well, he does that. That's the reason he said, okay, they used 2048 GPUs for 2 months, and that cost 6 million. Okay? Now, for reference, then he compares. To reach the same level, you need 16,000 GPUs. Okay? And you will require, for example, for Llama 3, they use 30 million GPU hours. Okay? So it's like 100,000 GPUs, and that's Meta. And that's the reason Facebook Meta is like, dudes, what is going on? It's like, how is this possible? So that's the panic. The panic because it's real. This is not a side up. Dude, if you haven't used DeepSeek, use it. Okay? I will not recommend is to ask questions about Chinese politics. It's not the best model for that, actually. Because remember that every model has biases. Every model they nerf the models. They limit the models depending on what they want. Let's continue. Okay? If the model also passes vibe checks, okay, it will be a highly impressive display of research and engineering under research constraints. This is very important. So what they did is that they found a way, and that's, you can literally go and read, and if you don't, ask ChatGPT or ask DeepSeek how the model works, okay? But they found a way to use the same available technology. Imagine they say it's like a group of experts, okay? But they were so good that you don't need all the experts all the time. Therefore, the GPU requirements are lower. You understand that? So it's like if you have 100 people, like the models before DeepSeek where you have 100 people and everyone is working, okay? Then Mistral, the French company, they were the first ones that talk about a group of experts, okay, with the Mistral.
This stock portfolio is heavy. Let's roast it. Hey there, be honest. Does your investment portfolio needs a reality check? I'll break it down for you in 10 minutes. Personalized roast that's honest, actionable, and maybe a little bit brutal. I'll show you what's working and what's failing and how you can make it better without any fluff. Just straight up solutions for your goals. Oh, and I deliver your roast within 72 hours, so you won't be left waiting. Ready? Go to franciscamoney.com or hit the link in the description and request your roast today. Let's fix that portfolio.
7 billion more. But then DeepSeek, he went further and said, okay, from that 100 people, when you do this specific task, maybe you just need 5 of the 100 for that task. In the other task, maybe you need 10. In the other, you need 15. In the other, you need 20. In the other, 8. So the model is so smart at understanding what is the right amount of people or experts in order to solve it. Do you understand? That's the logic. And I'm not saying this, man. I'm literally reading what experts are saying because that's my recommendation for you. Like, first, use the model, use DeepSeek. Implement the DeepSeek R1 and test the browser. Compare with ChatGPT, compare with O4, compare with Cloud, compare with Copilot, compare with Gemini 2.0, compare. But also read what smart people that know about AI talk. Not your friend in the neighborhood that he thinks he's smarter than the guy that created OpenAI or was part of the Tesla AI team, correct? It's like everyone respects Andrew Karpathy. Now, this was his element. He said, does this mean you don't need large GPU clusters for frontier LLMs? Which is the question for everyone, and that's the reason everyone says, yeah, and the price of Nvidia stock is gonna keep going down, and the price of TSMC, and then the bubble is gonna explode. Dudes, let's check what Karpathy is saying. He says, no, but you have to ensure that you're not wasteful with what you have. Okay, so the problem of a lot of American companies is because they have access to a lot of capital and they can buy the most fancy equipment. Well, they build models using all the equipment. What DeepSeek did is because you have limitations imposed by sanctions from the US to China, they have to find ways to use this. Okay, that's the difference. And he says, and this looks like a nice demonstration that there's still a lot to get through for both data and algorithms. And he said, very nice and detailed tech report too. Dude, it's like, if you don't understand, just go to Karpathy and see what he says, okay? But then he says, okay, because then people said, oh, but what about R1? That's the one that is destroying ChatGPT. Oh, all that money. Dude, calm down. A good investor, when a stock crashes and you say, wow, that's cool. That's good, actually. You know, because stocks cannot just simply go up, 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 up. That's stocks never work in this way, okay? He says, he will add, I will say that deep learning has a legendary revenues appetite for compute like no other algorithm that has ever been developed in AI. So data has historically been seen as a separate category, but even data is downstream of compute to a large extent. Okay. So at the end, the key thing is what he's saying. The human will never know to correctly annotate these kind of solving strategies and what they should even look like. They have to be discovered during reinforcement learning as empirically and statistically useful towards a final outcome. So it's a process, like what Karpathy is saying, man, let's just learn from Chinese. What are they saying? And you can learn and the best. And this is this is the number one difference, guys. Okay. DeepSeek is doing what OpenAI was going to do. And Francisco, but who's saying that? Well, dude, just go here and search for Mark Andreessen, the founder of Andreessen Horowitz. And let's just check what is he saying. Okay. This guy, he invests in AI companies. He has access to the best engineers in the world. He has access to the best knowledge of investment. Okay. And he has been tweeting this. DeepSeek R1 is an AI Sputnik moment. That's the reality. So that's how you have to see it. Man, I really love what DeepSeek is doing, because finally, you don't need to have a large cluster of GPUs. There are people that are already thinking on using DeepSeek in a Raspberry Pi, man. And actually, I'm gonna do the same, because it's just amazing, and I'm testing it. And Brian Rommel has done it. How much is a Raspberry Pi? $300, $400. Okay? And he said, if overnight tests are confirmed, we have open source DeepSeek. For the people that are not familiar with open source, that's the beauty of, it's like they release the software, so you can download it, you can install in your own hardware, and you can run it. Oh, but my data is being sent to China. Man, you can literally do that. And you don't have to pay to OpenAI or Cloud or Amazon and the others. That's it. I think that's amazing, you know? And I think that's the way developing countries can compete. if I were president of a developing country, such as, I will tell them, and that's what I told them in a meeting in Morocco a couple of years ago. Just as soon as ChatGPT was launched, I told them, man, you should implement localized versions using the local languages. And I gave the example of Nigeria. And I said, man, if you use the data that you have and you use a large language model that is open source, you can build a model that is more beneficial for your people because you have data that ChatGPT doesn't have. But now with DeepSeek, you can make this a reality. And now with people like Brian, you can see that is possible even in a Raspberry Pi. So I will literally challenge every university, every school to use DeepSeek, download it, and see how they can implement it, because that will be beautiful. That's amazing. Okay? And I will recommend Riley because he has been doing amazing stuff. Riley Brown. He built a video on how he built, and that's what I like about him. Like Perplexity using DeepSeek, which is amazing. And he has the great video about it. Okay, so follow Riley. And yeah, because it's amazing what people are building with DeepSeek. That's it. That's the beauty. If someone says, I don't want to use DeepSeek because it was created by China, man, you, of course, it's like you can always be dumb. It's okay. Because I believe that every major laboratory of AI is dissecting. They say that Meta is already having a big team just to understand the paper and to see how they can implement it. But of course, media, is like, oh yeah, Silicon Valley is gonna crash and everything. No, people will need more chips. That's the reality. And Meta, it's in panic mode. Because of course, now everyone will compare. If you're talking about open source, which Meta has been the leader so far, now you're gonna compare with DeepSeek. And that's the beauty. I think that's the beauty of open source. And to all the people that say, let's keep blocking China, it doesn't matter. They have proven that even with blockades, of course, because they're China, it's not like Colombia, that the Colombian president was just like threatened by Donald Trump and say, I'm gonna increase tariffs if you don't comply with me. Yeah, he's like a big bully. Everyone knows that Trump is a big bully now, especially with tariffs. And this is what is happening. The US, OpenAI, Grok, which I think is pretty bad. I don't know what is Elon Musk doing with 100,000 GPUs, and Meta, which I like it, but they should put Google there. China has DeepSeek, but don't discount Alibaba, Baidu, Tencent AI models. And Europe, it has Mistral from France. That's it. Yeah, guys, it's very interesting. It's very interesting what is happening, and maybe I should put a similar title to this guy: DeepSeek killed ChatGPT. That's a nice title. Yeah. Um. Yeah, DeepSeek. That's a good title, man. Thank you very much. So I just recommend you to be smart, breathe. When market crashes, what is the good time? Analyze your strategy. Are you doing the right things or not? Download DeepSeek, use it, test it. If you are more knowledgeable, read the paper. I've been testing, and yeah, it's extremely cheap. Like, oh man, the APIs, man, are extremely cheap, and the app was just crazy. Like, if you check it out, everyone was downloading the DeepSeek app, and this is good. I'm a firm believer of the free market. And open source, and I'm a firm believer of open source. I think since I discovered in 2004. Uh, just check it out. DeepSeek AI assistant winning the throne over ChatGPT. You know, even Aravindra Srinivas, the founder of Perplexity, saying, "Man, well done. This is the way." Instead of "This is a psyop, I'm a baby." Look, this is another